Hier is almal terug, die kykers, die luisteraars en ons volgende gas en François en Hendry en my nuwe speletjie op my foon.
Klik.
Taurus. Ek wil open Handcraft Studios. Watch hom. Huh? There it is.
Opening ka-ching.
Ka-ching. So ons gesels nou met Brandon Kynoch, stigter van Handcraft Studios. Handcraft, it's not Hardcraft. Hard.
Yeah.
I thought it's Handcraft.
No, Hardcraft.
You need to
I
read.
thought you started this game with a piece of wood. Handcraft. Hardcraft Studios. But before we get there, you developed an app that was downloaded 100,000 times in one day in 137 countries. That's just amazing.
Correct,
but just take us back. The love for computers, you're still at school. Where did it all start?
So it actually started when I was 11 years old. Well, I've always had such a huge interest in technology and I've always loved gaming. But at the age of 11, I literally just decided that I'm going to make my own game. And so I started teaching myself programming and everything required for game development. And it's just been my passion ever since.
So that passion had to be generated some way. Someone in the family that assisted you with this. I mean, the age of 11 and you start developing programs. It's hectic.
Not at all, because I mean my parents are pretty bad with technology. My brother also liked video games and technology, but he wasn't, developing anything. So it's kind of just, I really enjoyed it and I picked up that interest myself.
Wow.
Oh, sorry, I didn't listen now. I just scored 40. That's my best score. Yesterday it was 87. Is 40 fine when you're concentrating on something else?
That's quite average, yeah.
Average. Damn it. Quite interesting because I know nothing of computers. François here also invented a game. He made a pijl en boog when he was at school.
Yeah, well.
Hy het klei laat gegooi. But your first game, Blast, took you 2 years. And Taurus, 3 weeks. You know, is that just experience? Is it a different way of approaching it?
So the thing is, Blast was just a huge project because I was really focusing on just creating an amazing game. And Blast actually came about because the biggest problem I had with developing my games is I'd never finish them. So I'd start a game and halfway through I'd get bored of it and move on to the next thing. And Blast came about because I just decided that I was going to finish a game and actually publish it and see how it went. And that's why I just decided to make Blast and, give it amazing graphics and all this content and that. But like you said, it definitely wasn't as successful as Taurus. And I'd kind of learned from my mistakes in Blast and decided to move towards much smaller games that that are more manageable for an indie developer like myself.
And it's quite interesting. You started painting when you were like 7. Phoned your parents and say, listen, this is not normal. This is not normal paintings. This is gifted. And you use that creativity, but we're out of time for this segment. So I want to talk about that. And then something about algorithms. I ken het. Ek ken het.
Jy's so clear. You're so clever.
Sonder hakplekke, dis wat hiccups is hakplekke. Nee, ek ken nie. Brandon Kynoch is going to make money with an app. It's already doing, but it's going to be a big one coming soon. But before we get there, Brandon, you, just for the background, you developed this Taurus app, and it was downloaded 100,000 times in one day. But actually, you're very artistic. So you started with 3D photorealistic rendering. What in the world is that? What's that?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, I'd always been very artistic from a very young age. And when I kind of got into all of this technology and programming and that, I was really more drawn towards graphics design and 3D rendering. And I just really enjoyed that because I was so artistic.
And then you got some help from Dr. Richard Klein from WITS. How important is that? He gave you 2 books and you ordered it. And then you go into advanced algorithm analysis. I mean, it's mathematics.
It's university stuff.
It's university stuff, yeah. Stanford stuff, where you want to end up. But how important is studying further because for me it feels like if you get this thing, you know it, you can do it.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more.
Yeah, well, I mean, like you said, I could easily stick to just developing hyper-casual games forever, but I really want to keep studying and learning more in the field. And that's the reason I actually went to go and see Dr. Richard Klein was because I was busy working on a science expo and I had programmed a cooperative pathfinding algorithm my own cooperative pathfinding algorithm, and I'd really just run out of learning resources online. So I really needed to get some proper textbooks and university materials, and he kind of guided me in the right direction.
Do you sometimes find it a bit frustrating to be on a much higher level than your fellow students at school?
I definitely do get bored in school sometimes.
Is it?
I'd rather work on my own things, but I do want to study computer science in the States, so I will have to do well in school. And
Yeah, and that's also a next level of technology comparing to South
definitely.
Africa or what?
Well, I think when it comes to computer science, I would definitely like to study at MIT or Stanford. They're
Okay.
the very best of the best. And I think, quite frankly, they just don't compare to South Africa and a proper Ivy League university as, I don't know how to put it, just so much better in terms of computer science.
Yeah, wow.
So now I downloaded Taurus yesterday, and it's still for free. And so how do you make money? Because or do you get money from Apple for downloads? And sometimes an ad comes up. Is that maybe when you get so? But I think that's the question out there, even as for parents, because maybe they've got a son, he's in the room, but they don't know you can start a business.
So I do make money off of it, but that wasn't the goal for Taurus, because I knew that, if I'd made it a money-making scheme, it never would have been successful. So it was really just about getting loyal users and building a brand for myself. And so that's why I've put in there's minimal ads and literally only one in-app purchase. So it's almost completely free to play. And that was really important for me. I didn't want to ruin the user experience with ads and in-app purchases.
Okay, so you can actually put more ads in and you make more money, but it's more frustrating for
I could
because it's a
easily
free
do
game.
that, but at the moment it's just about building a brand for myself.
Yes. And
and
then with
becoming
the
known
next
as a
game, it will
developer.
cost you $50, and then you'll get a cut from that. And that's actually where the big bucks can come in, and you get 1 million downloads.
Yeah, so I am actually releasing a new game on the 18th of October.
Okay.
It's called Sept. I finished developing it, and that will be a paid game, but again, it's going to go towards developing my studio and producing my games.
And why did you decide on the name Hardcraft Studios?
Basically, that just came from the fact that I've worked so hard for the past 6 years. Started at the age of 11, and I've literally spent all of my free time just studying and working and learning new stuff and developing these games.
Are you the cool guy at school?
I'd like to think so.
And are you into sports as well? Do you do sport?
I do, yeah.
Okay, but because I'm, if you're my friend, I will be just hanging with
Hanging
you
with
because you're going to make money.
Just for that one day.
Ja. So, ek gaan nog steeds mense sê om te gaan download and then wait for the new game. Sector.
Sector, yeah.
And it's going to be released 18 October.
18th.
October, it's around the
October.
corner.
It's around the corner.
Yeah,
I can't
quite
wait to see
soon.
this one. I'm trying to master this one. And this is like
So you have still some time to do so, you know. It's a good
praat met die
thing.
mense, ek's besig. Ooh, 25 minutes in seriously.
Maybe just a quick question. The kind of genres when it comes to games, what do you usually specialize in?
So I've always enjoyed action games, and one of my favorite aspects about games, or why I got into it and enjoyed it so much, is because I just have a huge interest in the extremely advanced graphics.
Okay.
And advanced AI, and that's what I like to study. But right now, I just can't possibly create that stuff by myself. But that's what I would like to be doing in the future. So I'm busy studying things like artificial intelligence and neural networks and all of that. And that's really what I would like to get into in the future.
Great. Brandon, remember this face. Personal loan in 3 years' time.